The battle to get all of us wearing one of those smartwatches is heating up this morning. The newest models going on sale today are the Samsung Gear Live and LG's G Watch. Scott Stein is an editor with our partners at CNET and joins us at the table. Hey, Scott Stein.
Hey, good morning.
Always good to see you. So what excites you most about this newest round of watches?
Well, I've got the Gear Live on my wrist right now. So what doesn't excite me...
Does that mean you're excited?
The Gear Live. Exactly, the Gear Live. The design does not excite me right now, but what excites me is that a lot of these smartwatches, they're trying to sell you something that you already have on your phone, and Google's trying to say, well, we're already going to work with the apps you have on your phone and then start thinking forward towards your smart home or your car or other things out there that might work with this.
So what do they do exactly, Scott? I don't know. What do they do?
Well, they basically run the apps that you have on your phone. So
but you have to have an Android phone.
You have to have an Android phone with this, so 4.3 and higher. But they run, they pair, they send notifications like texts and your Twitter and your Facebook updates. But they also could run little MIDI apps. So Wink, which is a smart home company, is going to be running an app that allows you to control your smart home through it. You'll probably see a lot of things like that in the future that may be able to use your voice to turn on and off things or look around you or push things like your train time you need or what's the weather or that type of stuff.
What's the biggest criticism of these devices?
Well, for me right now, it's the battery life. That's one thing because they only last a day if you use them as they're intended.
Yeah.
And that's really like a phone. It's another thing to charge next to, and we're trying to get to a year or get to a regular, it's a no must type thing. And also, they don't do that much that your phone doesn't do. You got to keep it as a phone accessory. So you're talking about a $200 phone accessory, and that's where you're paying for your phone in the first place.
So right now, these tech companies seem to be focusing on two different things. It's home, as you talked about, and then also fitness.
Right. Yes. And the fitness part on this, there's a future with that in terms of working with apps. Right now, it has a pedometer. The Gear one also has a heart rate monitor. But a lot of this stuff hasn't been worked out in terms of how well it tracks it, especially with heart rate. We found at CNET that the heart rate is not always that accurate, or what are you going to do with it to get fit? And that's where you wonder down the road with Apple, are they going to figure out a solution? Or somebody's got to figure out a way to knit this together better. But it's early days for this.
Do you ever think, Scott, as a tech person, that there's too much technology? I'm thinking, do I want all that on my watch? And they're not very cute, I don't think.
No, they're huge. Now, there are going to be a lot of designs coming down the road. But yes, I do think that you can have too much technology. I think, the companies push, and the idea is that we're going to push back at some point and say, we've had enough. That's not a great direction.
But we're not pushing back.
Well, we're not. We try to when we review things and we say, that this is something we don't like.
They do a nice job.
Yeah, we try, but we do try to accept these things too much.
And I have to say, anybody who's doing fitness will wear like a Garmin watch for running or something like that. You know what I mean? There's different.
Well, there's another direction too. With Withings is a company that announced a watch that looks like a Swiss watch and has a year-long battery life and is much more discreet, has analog hands, and is waterproof. So you'll be interesting to see whether watches will go that direction. You want them to go invisible, but this is just kind of the first steps.
Okay.
There'll be ones like the Moto 360 that are round.
Really quickly, 10 seconds. Is Apple going to come out with a smartwatch here?
That's what everybody's saying, and so it'll be interesting to see what that means. Will it be something that is more like Swiss design influence? Is it going to be something that you don't have to manage like this quite as much? We'll have to see.
Great, Scott Stein. Thanks so much.
Yeah.